What'd you think of his return?
Well, first of all, I got to applaud the Cavs organization in the city of Cleveland and all those fans in Northeast Ohio who ever showed up to the game. They did an outstanding tribute to him. It was well-deserved. We all know what LeBron James has done for that area, that community, and what have you. And, you know, you can look at him all you want to, and you can have whatever critique that you have, which I certainly have from time to time. But it's just undeniable what he's meant to that area and what he's done for it, economically and beyond. And so I tip my cap to them for recognizing him because they gave him precisely what he deserves. Having said all of that, watching the game last night, I walked away feeling good about LeBron. I walked away feeling not so good about the Lakers' defense at times because there were too many lapses. Kyle Korver, please, more in an important game, he'd have drilled that shot.
And we'll get into L.A. in
That's
just
right.
a second.
So I'm just looking at it from that standpoint, but the ovation was great.
I found myself thinking that the reaction to him was so much different the second time around.
Yes.
What were the differences? Stephen A. we were talking this morning about it. The difference is he wins a championship. He chooses to come back. He wins a championship. He finishes unfinished business. And all of those things.
Bless
help.
you.
Thank you.
And so I understand there's a difference. And then he doesn't make as big a deal about the decision and leaves. And so there's a different reaction. But I also found myself wondering how much of it is because of that. Undeniably, a good deal of it is that. Now the standing ovation, and how much of it is that we've changed, that we as a kind of sports culture have changed. You know, when he did that, we had never seen an athlete at that level in team sports so take their destiny into their own hands, so reshape a league the way LeBron did. And then, but since then, he did it again, and KD did it, and we now accept that as what happens. When Muhammad Ali was first coming up, when he was still Cassius Clay, he started talking. He turned a lot of people off. It wasn't just that he was African-American or that he opposed the Vietnam War or he converted to Islam. It was that people weren't used to athletes. You know, back then it was all shucks, I'll fight whoever they put in front of me. And people weren't used to an athlete taking control. It turned a lot of people off at first. Then we got used to it. The world changed and we changed. Yep. And I think some of what we saw last night is LeBron's effect on us and our change in terms of the way we perceive athletes and the league and receive LeBron.
Players kind of running the show.
Well, I don't, you know, I'm not saying Max is wrong. I just look at it a tad bit differently. I think about Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Money Mayweather, and the effect that he's had on professional athletes. I can't tell you how many athletes I've seen walk up to Floyd Money Mayweather to get his advice, to talk to him about being that, having that maverick kind of mentality and taking chances. Then you look at LeBron and you see what he's done, what Max just articulated and elocuted. I think the important point to remember is that everybody wants to go out there and do their own thing, but there's got to be something in it for someone other than just yourself. What I mean by that is that when you go out there and you win, your box office along the way, think about the monetary benefits that spreads far and extends far beyond you. It's not just about doing what you want to do. It's also about doing what's right. It's about doing what's positive, what's beneficial to people more than just yourself. And I think that when you look at LeBron and the decisions that he's made, it's a mistake to look at him and think he did it just for him. He benefited, but so many other people benefited because of his greatness and his willingness to bet on himself in the face of scrutiny, in the face of other people who were saying, we hope you lose because you did those things. And he turned around and faced it all and still found a way to get it done.
Just look at the school and how he's helped the city of Cleveland and their economy.
You got to think about it from that level.
I want to focus on the Lakers, though. So, Stephen A., I know you have them going to the Western Conference Finals.
Yes, I do.
Of course, barring facing the Warriors along the way.
That's right.
LA is currently 10-7, guys. They've won 8-2 in their last 10 games, so playing well. Max, how close are they to actually becoming a contender?
No, I don't think they are close to becoming a contender, meaning they will actually contend for a championship this year.
Okay.
I think Tyson Chandler was an enormous addition. I think JaVale McGee was an excellent signing. And LeBron is seeing what he needs to do and figuring it out and keeping their heads above water. But let's not get carried away. They just beat a hapless team, probably the worst team in basketball, by 4 points. By 2 possessions.
Yeah, the first half, I was like, what's going on?
2 possessions. So like, are they going to make the playoffs? I thought they would. Are they going to advance in the playoffs? I think they will, and I think it'll stop there. I don't see a Western Conference Finals.
Well,
team
I do, and I've repeatedly stated why. I think everybody's acting like I'm looking at the Lakers and saying, oh, my God, LeBron James arrived. They're so great. They're one of the top 4 teams in the NBA from a contender perspective, like they're legitimate contenders to the Warriors. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to look at LeBron James' arrival, the anticipated impact that will have, combined with the fall off in the Western Conference. We look at the Portland Trail Blazers. They're a good team. They got annihilated by 43 last night. This is the kind of team that they are. Anything can happen to them at any given moment. We expect them to go to the playoffs. We expect them to go home. The Utah Jazz with Donovan Mitchell. We talked about the other good players around them, but we see how they've struggled, okay? Okay, so we've monitored that. We've watched. They gave a 50 to Derrick Rose for crying out loud, even though Derrick Rose has improved exponentially this year because he's healthier. Yeah. We look at the Houston Rockets. James Harden, I love James Harden, but he came in a little bit out of shape. We all know that. He's getting his legs under him, and he's going to do his thing. But still in all, Houston is a bit compromised without Trevor Ariza and Luke Mbah-a-Moute. You look at Denver. They're on the come up, but full with youngsters.
A lot of flawed teams.
There's a whole bunch of flawed teams.
Even the Trailblazers, by the way, to your point, even the Trailblazers look like a great regular season team.
It's the first year the East is better than the West.
Well, listen, what I'm saying to you is this. This is a better way to say it. I don't believe anyone other than Golden State will beat the Lakers in the West come postseason because those guys will have to go up against LeBron in the postseason. Yep. And I don't think that's going to work.
Houston's going to get it together?
Excuse me?
You don't think Houston will get it together?
Well, Bzdelik's return is going to help, but I think the only way that we can look at Houston and say Houston will be over the Lakers is if Houston goes back and gets Trevor Ariza back.